This conference will now be recorded.
So, firstly, we are going to start with a simple request. Okay. So, not a simple request. Again, it will come to under meaning. A normal request we are going to do right now. So, just give a user access for a user through the GRC concept. So, go to NWBC Access Management, and here you can go for the option called access request. So access request creation. Create the access request and model user access you are having. Here, select this option and give the required details. Firstly, request type, new account or a new user, anything, and request for other users. Below, you should be giving a user ID which you want to create here. Something I am going to give like Tata 0147 is the user ID. So priority we have seen. These are just the labels, very high. And for which business process you want to create this one? I want to create for security. Okay. For the SAP security, I want to create it. Followed by the functional area like aviation business, something, all the things. And what is the mandatory field? See, observe carefully. Even description is also a mandatory field for us. Give some description. New user creating for security team. Okay, I have given a description. After providing these details, go for user access add option. So firstly, you should be adding the system details. So what is your RFC connection you should be providing here? Okay, followed by, so after adding the system, we should be adding the roles also. So, right, so the roles for concept, the roles is not popping up here. So what I will be doing is just go back and check the settings. So you must add even the roles here itself. Otherwise, it is not going to take. So I think it is disabled. It's okay. So firstly, what are the mandatory fields? So as we discussed, it's the last name. So in this version, someone has put the star mark even for the first name also. So just give the thing. Tata Security is the name. And what is the other mandatory fields? Manager name. Manager name is a mandatory name. So the manager name we have given something like Krishna Evo something we have created, right? So selecting the access owner. Yeah. Krishna Evo is the access owner. He is the manager. And when you go below, the other mandatory field is the email ID. So I am giving a dummy email ID, tata@gmail.com. That's it. And remaining things, it depends on you. If you required any one of these things, you can fill or else you can leave it. So these are the mandatory fields which I have given here and submit the request. Okay. So once again, give an enter button. So what it is saying is a Tata 017 is not a valid user ID, it is saying. So give another user ID here. So it may be due to some security 147 or else I will be giving a name. So it may be in exemption or something, a naming convention may be violated. Krishna 45 is the user ID I have given. So it's not a valid user. Just a moment. So what is the thing that is close this, close this. Once go for the general settings. So going for SPRO, go for reference IMG, GRC, access control, go for the configuration settings. So just scroll down for the parameter IDs that are starting with 2000. Okay, just a second. So just checking the ARM settings. Settings look fine. Uh, just go back. Just want to check the default workflow. Is it anything disturbed? Then also you won't get the task. So just checking it. Once we do this activity, we are coming to this screen only. So okay, okay, right. Resetting them to default. Just restore it to the default. After that, if you want to transport, not required as of now. Just activate these things. There are some errors. So the error we are getting is access request to IMG table contains errors. Okay, there are some errors here, which we will check it. Okay, so this is what the problem. Relation tables contains errors. Okay, right. So let's go back to configuration settings. So that's what I am looking for. There is some error here itself. Someone has given some invalid ID for this, but okay, right. I don't want to keep on wasting that time here. So I have to check every parameter ID related to ARM. So why to waste that? So let us go to the next topic. And anyway, we are going to come to the configuration settings. Then again, we will do the default one. Okay. So firstly, we are going with the overview of the MSMP now. So the theory part we have already done, like how many types of workflows we are having, how the workflows will affect. Now we are going to see how to do the execution part of the MSMP workflow. In order to do this, firstly, we are having some prerequisites that are checking the MSMP activations. So, how to check the MSMP activations? So, simply go for access control, and in the access control, go for the workflow for access control. Here you can go for activation event links of the access control workflows. So these all are the workflows that are already activated. So in this way you can see like WS workflow 300 This is the IMG project changer in this way. So there are some paths, all of these things which are active in position. So how to check whether the work process are in active positions or not? In order to check this one, what we can do is simply go to the transaction code called PFTC. Transaction code is PFTC, where we can check the activations of the workflow. Here, go for the option called workflow template. And here, the workflow which we required is so all these things not required. So WS is the naming convention which we have to look for. A, B, C, D, F. Okay. Or else give the workflow number 785. Just a moment. So the number is 785 00019. I think this is the one. No. Okay, right. I think the workflow which I'm looking for is not available. That is the template workflow number. So let us once do it. That is, this is the one-time activity. So just select this task and go for the create option. And here in the basic settings, you can go for the workflow builder. So it is saying that, so it is already exists, it is saying. So once go and search for it. Okay. So, so search for this one, execute. Okay. Okay. So go for the display option. So here you can go for the workflow builder. So in the workflow builder for this task here, what you can see is you can display the steps involved for creating or customizing the workflow. So here there are three steps involved. It's a graphical model which it is showing. Firstly, the workflow start, and nextly we are going to do some customizing activities, and the workflow is going to end. This is just a template which we are having. So a graphical representation. Workflow starts, customizing done, and workflow is completed. That is the task which we have to do. Firstly, the next step we have to do is whether the BC sets for the workflow are in active position or not, we have to check it. So what is the transaction code to display the BC sets? Anyone? What is the T code to check the BC sets? I think we have done in
SPRO2.
no, it's SCPR20, not SPRO20, SCPR20. Okay, here just go for the selection called star MSMP star. Okay, and browse the data. So here you can display only one workflow that is related to. So this is what is this one? BC sets for MSMP workflow configuration. This is a workflow for the MSMP we are having. BC set is nothing but default data. So just go for continue or else go for the activating log. Whether this is in active position or not, you can check it. So just take the latest one. So what it is saying, so GRC MSMP configuration. So most of the tasks are done, but one or other thing, there are some errors. How to do the activation? Just select the workflow which you require and go for the activate BC set option. So just write the request number here and see. So what are the options you want? So default language, German and English are going to be activated. So overwriting not required. So default mode, you can activate it. So overriding means all the old data will be erased and the new data will come into place. So no need of doing overriding process. So now see the activation is done with some errors like data lock, so audit review lock. There are some locks happen, but it's okay. The main thing, the main configurations are done. You can go for the activation information and display everything. So in this transport request number, the activations are done here. IMG activations are done. Okay. So after activating the BC sets, now what you have to do is so come back to here. So not this one. So go to SPRO. So these are just steps involved. So go for GRC, access control, and go for the workflow access control. Step one is to activate. Next one is to activate. Activate is it is redirecting to the BC sets only, nothing new. Okay, step one we have done. Step two we have done. Step three is maintain MSMP workflows. So here you can see the already existing workflow. If at all you want to make any customizations for existing workflows, you can use this option. So, but what I want to do is I want to generate some new workflows rather than editing the existing one. What I want to make it is to generate a new work process. I want to do it rather than customizing existing one. So in order to do that, go for the generate MSMP process version here. Okay. So go to this transaction, go to the generate one. So in order before generating this one, what you have to do is you have to so you have to create the you have to create some data for generating the workflow. In order to do that, go for the transaction code called SE61. What is the transaction code? SE61. Okay, so this is also just for checking purpose. We are not going to create any data. So SE61 is, so I will open both the things or simultaneously. So here we are having the workflows here, GRC access control. So already existing workflows you are having. So the browser is not opening. So if you get this type of situation, it happens when we open multiple things at a time. Just close everything and relaunch it. So when you keep on opening and closing the same thing, it these type of errors you will get. So if you get these type of errors, just close it and reopen once again. So go to SPRO and go for GRC, access control, workflow. In this folder only we are moving. We are not going to anything new. So when I go to the workflow here, so go to the maintain rules. So here you are going to have some rules which you can display the rule documents. So where can I display? This is only for display purpose. We are not going to create anything. The transaction code is SE61 is the transaction code for displaying the documents. So these are the rules, already existing rule IDs. So whatever you see here, all the things are already existing rule IDs. So to display the rule ID documents, you can just browse here. Okay, when you go, so many things will be have. So we only require access control documents. Go for star GRAC star and browse it. So access control documents, all the default one and the customizing one, everything you can just display here. Just open any document here randomly. So allow this one. So in the backend, the Microsoft will open and show you the document that is having that it is stored. Okay. I think no one has opened the document. Microsoft, no one has done. I think that's the reason. Just a second. SE61, the data is not pulled. So here, go for any star GRAC, search for any document. These are the already existing document, approval instruction. Display the document here. Hello. So this is the existing document. As approval is required, you review the request content, take some system access for user access, everything. These are already existing document for the rule IDs. Now, I don't want to have any existing rule IDs. I just want to create my own rule IDs. So if you want to customize existing rule IDs, you can do in the maintain MSMP. But what I want to do is I want to create a rule IDs here. So what you can do is go for the next option called generate MSMP. Select the MSMP ID which you want to create the data. So now I want to do for ARN concept, that is access request approval. Who should give approval when a access request has been raised? These details will be available in access request approval workflow. Select this one and go for execution. Okay, just go for the execution part. Right. Just a moment. Just a moment. We'll come back. Just a right. So actually, in the from the generate itself, you have to redirect here, but it is not happening in this UI. So go for the define directly. You can go for the define the rule. So from the process version to define, you should be redirected, but it's not happening. But directly define option is working, so no issue for us. So go to the define your rules. So we will do what is we are not going to customize any existing rules. What we are going to do is create a rule. So what are we going to create the rule? So for the approval purpose. So when the user access is created, who should give approval? So what are the steps included for giving the approval? Everything we are going to define right now. For the approval purpose, step by step, let us do right now. Okay, so just a moment. So, so once the generate option opens, we can proceed for the next step. So let's proceed further step. So what are we going to do right now is we are going to create a rule. So for which processor are you going to create the rule? For the access request approval, we are going to create a rule. And what kind of rule you are going to create? There are basically four types of rule. The rule which we create is the agent rule. Okay, agent rule we are going to do and give the name of the rule ID. So when you browse here, you will be getting all the existing rule IDs, which we don't want to use any one of the things. So you can just do the configuration with the existing one, and they are very much simple. But I don't want to do it. I want to create my own rule. So giving a name, make sure that you remember the name, whatever rule you are creating. Z underscore Krishna underscore ARM something. Agent rule. I am giving the name. So the rule which I am giving is the Krishna ARM agent rule. So the same thing I am giving for the application. This is just a name. Followed by the rule type. So rule kind is agent rule. Rule type we are going here is the BRF plus rule types. Okay. BRF plus rule type we are going for this. Okay, and after selecting this one, just go for the execute button. Okay, save and execute. So a rule ID will be created. Just go back. So directly go for the execute option without saving. So a rule ID, just a rule ID has been created. So after this one, the next one we have to do is give the BRF plus configuration. Just a rule ID we have created. It's just a name. Inside this, we have not given any setting. In order to do the setting, we have to go for the transaction code called BRF plus. It's a transaction code. Okay. So go to the BRF plus transaction code here. And sorry. So in the BRF plus, go for the create the, so just my application. You have got no applications here. So just go for a create application option. In the create application, give the details. What is the name you want to create? Z underscore Krishna ARM agent rule I want to create here. Okay. And give the create and navigate. You can go for this option. Okay. So we have created a application which you should be displayed in the left side. So have already in use. Show the list. Okay. The name has been already updated here. So just open this one and see. So in the access request approval, our function ID has been already added. Our rule ID, not the function ID. This is called as a rule ID. So what you have to do here is just right click here on the thing. So after clicking on the right click, just go for the copy. You should get here itself create option. Yeah, just a second. So for this rule ID, we have to do some change. That is go for the create option. So rule ID, we are going to create in BRF plus. In create, go for the option called expressions. In the expression, there are many types of expressions here. Uh, Boolean means nothing but true or false, case, constant. So we are all of these terms are related to coding. So only through the coding only these expressions can be used. So we are having one logical expression. The logical expression we are having is the decision table. Only decision table is the logical one and we are going to use it. So select the decision and give the decision table name. So whatever is the decision table you want to create, just give the name. Z underscore something like DT. DT stands for decision table underscore Krishna. This is the name of the table I want to give here. Okay. So give some text here. Krishna's decision table. Okay, and go for create and navigate object. So here comes the very important setting we require. So in this decision table, we are going to set the rules. So here we are having two columns. First one is the condition columns. Second one is the result columns. So what are these condition columns? What are the result columns? Are nothing but condition column is nothing but the input. So what is the input you have to give? And result column is nothing but what is the output. So input condition, output condition we are going to give here. So firstly go for condition column, that is input condition. Go for the insert column. Okay. So directly go for the insert column from the context objects. So all the content objects. So all the objects will be displayed for you in this way. So among these objects, so observe. So the data will be somewhat confusing for you. Firstly, access request line item. So for access request, what are the details you require? Actions, deselect it, not required. Go for the business process. Business process we require. Anyone you have to give. So I am choosing the business process, which is kind of easier than the action. So remove the action. Again, go down below. So go down below. So this is in the access request line header. So go down below and you will be having another type of tables also. That is the request header. So what is the request you require? So in the request header, you can give the rules or the things which you required. First one is the business process I required. Here there is nothing like standard rule. So for raising the request, what are the details you required? So I am randomly selecting something like this. So functional area and so somewhat easy options you can choose rather than that are complex to use. So function area I am choosing here and something that can be more useful or easier is, yeah, I think we can use this option also, the request type. This is also kind of simple to use. So select the request type here. So SNC, don't use it. It's a boolean that is the true or false condition which can be controlled through the coding itself. So ABAP people will take care of these type of things. Right. So select these things. So these are the input conditions you have provided. Okay. Request type, business process, functional area, and the business process once again. Now, what are the output conditions you want to give? Result column. In the result column, you should be giving the output condition here. Select the insert object and search. So search for the objects you are having. Okay, no objects imported. Just a minute. Objects any is selected. Right. Remove the application. Not required. Go for the search option. So you should be getting the objects in this way. So now let's go to bottom. So access request, these all we have given in the input. So for output details, just go to the bottom and search for the folder called result. So it will be in the last, this it will be the last folder. Let us scroll down. Yeah. So here you are having something called as a result agent rule. Result agent rule you are having. You can use it is repeated for two times. You can use any one option of one of the option. What is the result I want is the user ID is the output I require. You can select here or here. Anything is fine. Both are same. Okay, select it. So this is the output rule we have given. Input, these are the details. Request type, business process, functional area. Output is the user ID. Just go for OK. So here in the table content, so here, yes, save this one first. So just go back. Okay, once again, last this one. So go for the T code BRF plus. We are not done it with the activity. So we have some more activities to do. BRF plus. So open this one. So open the access management request. Go for the data objects. Go to the function. Select the rule ID which we have created. And after going here, just go for backward, one step backward, edit, okay, save this one and activate. Yeah, yes, yeah, activation is done. Go for the access request approval. Yeah, action mode not required as of now. Firstly, request header. Everything we got here. We are getting directly this option. Just a minute. So default settings, everything is fine. Right. Okay. Okay. Once close and reopen this one. Why? Because it is directly redirecting to the add option. I require one more option in between. So let's relaunch the DRF plus. So in the rule ID, we have only given the rules, that is input and output. So after providing the rules, we have some more activities to perform here. Yeah, it's hidden here. So come to the expression decision table and go for the edit option here. So in the decision table, we should be making some of the options here. So already the previous settings, let me check if they are added or not. So mostly they have been added. Yeah. Options, links, users, data object, table. Okay, it is already stored here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. So whatever the details we have given, they are already saved. So no need to worry about these things. So once again, save this one, activate. Consistency check is also checked. So just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So once again, add these things. These are not properly added here. While adding, there may be some errors. So give the input conditions. So the input conditions I want to give here is first one, business process. So remove the application. Just remove this one. Actually, the settings are moving to another targeted system. So give this one first column as the business or process and deselect the actions And after this one, just scroll down. And in the second column, we will be having something called as the, just wait for a second. I did not realize I am using the Internet Explorer from this time. Okay, so this is much better. So just go for the create option. Once again, create a expression. Select the decision table. Once again, something give a name called Z underscore decision table 2. Sorry. Just give some Z underscore DT02 Krishna decision table 2. So if in case the older one is still, we don't want to override. Decision table 02 and create and navigate the objects. Here below you can go for the insert column and go for the data objects here. And here are the objects you are having. First one, access request line. Select the business process and deselect the actions. So till now, I did not realize that I am working in the Internet Explorer, which is so much inconvenient. So always use the Chrome. So now come to the request header. In the request header, select the business process and you can select the functional area and you can even select the request number or request type will be fine. Request number again, you have to know the number specifically. Go for OK and add the result column. That is the output column. In the output column, what is the thing we required is the, so just scroll to the bottom. You have to find out the column called result agent rule. Here, go for the result agent rule, select the user ID, OK, and OK. So in this way, and later what you have to do is in the table contents, add this one. So firstly, request type. So just browse this one. So you can add multiple request types here. So firstly, add the first type of request you want. So direct value input, give it. So in the request type, you can select for what type of request you want. Browse this data. So you can get some request numbers and what are they for. Star means for all requests. 00 means for new account, change account, delete account. So for what type of request you want to give these approvals. I am selecting for the creation of the for the creation of new account. Okay. And business process, select the direct input and for which particular business process you want to give this one. For something like a finance team, like F500. For finance module people, I am giving this role. And select the, so functional area also someone has made mandatory, but if at all we can remove this one. So just browse the functional area for Tata 01. For in this functional area, if you are creating a user for business process, so again give the same business process which you have given in the first column. That is F500 is the thing. Okay. And select the action. Action, go for the user ID and select the action. So that is assign, remove, retain. I am going for the assign option and go. So move to the right word in the table. The last column is the user ID. So who is the user that can perform this action? So select any one of the user ID you are having. So the user must have the authorization. Here what particularly we are going to give here is any. So here we are giving a rule who can give approval, okay, who can give the approval. So who can give the approval for creating the request. So 001 is the new account for finance module people, and they must be created in the functional area. So in this Tata business functional area of finance, creating the new account, who is going to give the approval? Best is the user ID who is going to give the approval. This is called as a manager level approval. Who is the dedicated manager available for giving those type of approval? In the same way, you can perform the same activity for different things like create a new account. Okay, select the business process. So after selecting the business process, previously we have done for the finance, now for basis. For any user ID created in the basis module, who is going to give the approval is the thing which we are going to make the setting here. So select the business process once again, BI00 or something. What is the thing we have selected? BS00. Select it and move the cursor to the right side and select the user who can give this approval. So give the action also assignment, but this column is not required. We can just simply remove it, but it's okay. We can give. No worries. And give the user ID who can give the approval. Go for direct input value and select any user ID who is having full authorization. So I'm randomly selecting text underscore one. I don't know whether this user having authorization or not. In this way, I am assigning. In this way, for multiple module people, each user you can assign for giving the approvals. Each manager you are going to give the approval. So after giving these things, just go for the save option. Okay, in the top you are having the save icon. Go for it. Okay, so it is. So after going for the save option, so everything turned into green. Now what you can do is go for my applications, access request approval, functions, and here the ID which you have created. Save this one. This is the rule ID which you have created. Just select it and here go for the edit option. So in the edit option, you can go for the mode. The mode you are going is the functional mode, and below you are having the expression. Nothing is assigned. Just browse the options you are having. So what is the decision table you want to give? That is the decision table 02 which we have created. Just select it. So this is the decision table which we have given. After selecting the decision table, just go for the save option. Okay, save and activate. Now it's time for checking. So no result in the Z-axis technical details. Let us check what is the technical error we are getting. So, okay. Once again, perform the same activity. Just go for functions and select it, and the decision is already, I think it's in active position also, or else once go for save and go for the activate symbol. Mm, Yeah, it's okay. We will check the thing what went wrong. So for checking the errors, you can go for the simulation option. So what is meant by simulation? We have already learned in the risk analysis. We are going to create a environment. Okay, go for the continue. So here what it is saying is no result in the data objects it is saying. So that it is unable to retrieve the data object DT02. It is unable to do this one. So we have to once again go back. So right. So once go back and once go for the expressions. So in the expressions, decision table 02, there is some error happening. So once go and search for this. So just double click here. So go for the users, expressions. So it is a just go for edit option here. No, why the columns are not adding here even though we are adding? So once again, repeat this adding. So the column rules which we are applying are not reflecting here. That's the error we are getting on. So access request, give the business process, request header, go for the business process, functional area, and request, right? Okay. And just insert the result column, search for the, go for the user ID. Result user ID, result agent rule, go for the user ID. Okay. Okay. User ID, it's a mandatory input has been selected. Okay. And they are not adding here. In the table content, we are even though we are doing, they are not we are not able to add here in the table the content which we are giving. Yeah. This- Okay. It's okay. It's already 9:15. I did not realize. So once I will check the error why we are getting here in the decision table. So by tomorrow, once repeat the same activity which I have shown you now. So after we do the simulation, the next step will be going to MSMP and inserting the agent ID which we have created. And after we create the agent ID, then we are going to execute the ARM. Okay, the ARM part will be executed there. Okay. So how the rule set? So what is the rule we have created? If we created user ID for functional area, one user must give approval. If we created a user ID for a consultant, one user must give an approval. And we will also see how different levels of approvals we can provide. So all these things we are going to discuss. Okay. So by tomorrow, once do the revision of the today's session, tomorrow we are going to continue the same topic at 8 p.m. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to continue the same topic at 8 p.m. So don't miss the tomorrow's session. Tomorrow we are going to end the MSMP and ARM topics. Okay. Right, everyone. Anyone, we will be meeting tomorrow. Don't forget to attend the tomorrow's session. Have a nice day.